The conflict between Israel and Palestine is one of the most long-standing, emotionally charged, and complex disputes in modern history. It's not just about land, borders, or politics. It's about identity, history, trauma, and deep-rooted fears. To understand the current war, we need to understand where it all began. In the late 1800s, Jewish and Arab nationalist movements began rising. Jews, facing increasing persecution in Europe, began migrating to what was then known as Palestine, part of the Ottoman Empire, and later under British control after World War I. Zionists called for the establishment of a Jewish homeland, but this land was already home to hundreds of thousands of Palestinian Arabs, Muslims, and Christians who had lived there for generations.
In 1947, after years of growing tensions, the United Nations proposed a plan to partition the land into two states, one Jewish, one Arab. The Jewish leadership accepted it. The Arab side rejected it, seeing it as unjust and favoring one group over another. In 1948, Israel declared independence. Neighboring Arab nations invaded, and the First Arab-Israeli War began. When the war ended, Israel had gained more territory than the UN plan had given it. Over 700,000 Palestinians were displaced or fled during the fighting, an event they call the Nakba, or catastrophe. Those Palestinians and their descendants have lived in refugee camps or under occupation ever since. Many still carry keys to homes they haven't seen in decades.
In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, and other territories. These are the areas that Palestinians now want for their future state. But after more than 50 years, Israeli settlements have expanded deep into the West Bank, and Gaza has become one of the most densely populated and heavily blockaded places on Earth. Gaza is governed by Hamas, an Islamist militant group that took control in 2007 after winning Palestinian elections. Hamas is viewed by Israel, the US, and the EU as a terrorist organization. Israel maintains a strict blockade on Gaza, citing security concerns. This blockade, combined with repeated wars and internal governance issues, has devastated Gaza's economy and infrastructure. Unemployment is sky high. Electricity is limited. Clean water is scarce.
Tensions flare often. Rockets are fired from Gaza. Airstrikes are launched by Israel. Civilians on both sides live in fear, especially during escalations. Entire apartment blocks in Gaza can be destroyed in seconds. Meanwhile, in Israeli towns near the border, sirens send families running to bomb shelters, sometimes with only seconds to spare. In the West Bank, life is different, but tense. Israeli military checkpoints, walls, and surveillance are part of daily life for Palestinians. Settlements continue to grow even though they're considered illegal under international law. Clashes between settlers and Palestinians are frequent, and the Israeli army often intervenes. Palestinian anger grows, especially among the youth, who see little hope for change. Attempts at peace have come and gone. The 1990s saw some hope with the Oslo Accords, where both sides recognized each other and aimed for a two-state solution. Leaders shook hands, flags were raised, but violence, political shifts, assassinations, and broken promises derailed those efforts. Israel points to its security concerns. It argues that past withdrawals, like from Gaza, only led to more attacks. Many Israelis feel they have no partner for peace, that Hamas and other groups refuse to recognize Israel's right to exist and continue promoting violence. On the other side, Palestinians feel crushed under decades of occupation, systemic inequality, and broken dreams. They see settlements expanding and wonder if a real Palestinian state is even possible anymore. When war erupts, it's often triggered by a single event: an eviction in East Jerusalem, a raid on a mosque, a killing in the West Bank, or rocket fire. But these are just sparks. The fuel has been gathering for years: hopelessness, anger, mistrust. International reactions are mixed. Some nations support Israel's right to defend itself, especially against rocket attacks. Others focus on the disproportionate impact on Palestinian civilians, especially children.
Many call for restraint, but few have been able to help move toward a lasting solution. The human cost is staggering. In Gaza, entire families have been wiped out in airstrikes. In Israel, civilians live with the constant fear of attack, hospitals are overwhelmed, trauma runs deep. And with each war, the scars grow deeper on both sides. Children grow up knowing nothing but conflict. A Palestinian child in Gaza might never leave the Strip. An Israeli child near the border might never feel fully safe. They live in different worlds, shaped by fear, shaped by loss, shaped by a narrative passed down through generations. Social media has become a battleground too, amplifying voices, but also misinformation and hate. Narratives clash. Each side shows its pain, its dead, its destroyed homes. And audiences around the world often choose sides, sometimes without understanding the full history or daily realities. The path forward is uncertain. Some still believe in a two-state solution, an independent Palestine living peacefully beside Israel. Others speak of one state with equal rights for all. But the trust needed for either path is shattered. Leaders change, politics shift, violence returns. What's left are the people, mothers, fathers, students, workers, just trying to live. Many Israelis and Palestinians want peace. They want dignity. They want safety. They want to raise children without fear. But between them stands decades of war, mistrust, ideology, and trauma. Ending this war isn't just about ceasefires. It's about addressing root causes: occupation, displacement, violence, inequality. It's about recognizing the humanity on both sides, without erasing the pain or the past. It's about choosing dialogue over rockets, dignity over dominance, and justice over revenge. And while it may feel impossible at times, peace has to start somewhere, with truth, with empathy, with the courage to see not just an enemy, but a person, broken, scared, angry, but still human.
Until that happens, the cycle continues. War after war, funeral after funeral, generation after generation trapped in a conflict they didn't start, but are forced to inherit. The world watches, but the people live it. Every day. And the real tragedy is not just the death or destruction, but the growing belief that peace is no longer possible. But maybe it still is. Maybe one day, despite the odds, a child in Gaza and a child in Tel Aviv will grow up not with hatred, but with hope, not as enemies, but as neighbors.